Judeo-Christianity is a construct developed by specific minds in order to manipulate psychologically animals in the zoo and repress their sexual energy in a particular fashion and then guide them and give them an outlet, which outcome will be to produce the society they wanted to build. And we can say that most religion, if not all of them, are psychological operations, helmets, brainwashing, if you'd like, that you impose on the minds of people, and the result of it is what? It channels sexual organic power in a very precise direction, the direction of the person who wrote the code. So from a Christian point of view, if you don't know anything about Christianity, how Christianity came to be, who created the religion of Christianity, who wrote the book, if you put this aside, if you just look at the story, well, they have a sense of what reality is about. I'm talking about like first degree, right? They have a sense of reality and how women and men should behave. And this construct is added upon the woman from generation to generation. And then from that point on, if she's a good Christian, she holds herself in that posture and her sexual energy, quote unquote, should circulate within that posture. But what happens if I remove the construct? So they say, most religion, if not all, say if you remove the construct, women will become a demon. Women will become unbridled, insatiable, and demonic, because they believe that that's the nature of women. Now, are they wrong? Well, from a point of view, no, I understand what they're saying, but there's a reason. There's a reason why she would respond in that way for some time. So this is my opinion of religion or religious dogma or religious so-called ethical codes. I don't know, you understand what I'm trying to say. They're constructs. Now, you may believe that what you're reading is the truth. You may feel that this answers your deepest calling. You may feel that this intellectually makes sense. Fine. And I'm not necessarily disagreeing. It's still not your truth. It's a borrowed truth. You haven't figured it out for yourself. You believe in it. So if you believe it, that means something, the mind, the cortex, it's neuro-linguistic programming. You adopt something and from that outer layer of the mind, you force your nature to respond. Which means that if I shatter this and put another one, you'll become something else. And if I shatter both and I leave it nothing else, and I impose nothing, you're going to have a fucking response. A volcano is going to blow up, which you call unbridled feminine energy or chaos or demonic. Well, it's not I don't understand. I understand this perfectly. But to think that this is spirituality or to think this is the truth shows that the person you don't understand mind. You don't understand how mind operates. And you don't understand that there are people who are guiding and controlling and engineering humanity for God knows since how long. And this is exactly how they do it. How are we going to make you do what we want? Let's pretend for 5 minutes, okay? Just for the sake of conversation. Not that it's true or not true. Let's pretend that human beings lived simple lives somewhere in Africa, original human beings. We all know that this is the truth, but this is not the point. You're living simply. How do you go from living in simple lives in a little village with a couple of huts or whatever it is, basic irrigation system, like basic, right? You have everything you need, basic. How do you go from that to building Dubai? How? What would motivate that simple man and his simple woman and his simple children and their simple tribe with their simple rituals and their simple life to want to go outside of that harmony, go in the middle of the desert and build a city which is technically not supposed to be there? What would possess, literally this is the word, what would possess a human being? What would possess a man to want to leave the comfort of his home, his life, his family, his community, and to go all the way in the middle of the desert to build something that is not technically supposed to be there. Why would he do that? So no sane person would ever do that. If you would ask a monkey to do something, he will not do it. What's in it for me? I'm not comparing the human to the monkey. This is another example. Why? I'm good. I got my banana and I got my pussy. I don't need fuck all. Why I'm going to do what you tell me to do? What's in it for me? So we've discussed this before. If there is a foreign mind, or I don't want to get to this, if there's another kind of mind that has an agenda and has a plan for whatever reason, and it needs laborers, so it has to make you work. Then how is it going to make you work? It has to take you and manipulate, more importantly, your sexual power, which is your generative, creative power, and guide it in a specific direction that you want to do that, or feel you must do that. And more importantly, you do that over generations. It creates a chronic inflammation of the brain, develops certain brain centers more than they should have been, or, well, more than they would be in a natural state, which makes you think of all kinds of mad, crazy things. If I'm good and I'm content, why am I thinking of creating a cell phone? Why am I thinking of how wavelengths operate and how I can create conductors to be able to catch and emit? Like, why? I'm good. I'm satisfied. I'm enjoying the sun. I have good food. I have those I love. I don't need anything. Why would my mind go there? There would be no reason. So I would not think of this. It's not, the human being doesn't have that within himself. It's like, but why would I want to know that? Why would I want to put my attention on it? There would be no reason. So therefore, the human being would never invent this. So by creating all kinds of circuit twistedry and repression, the human being has to, and has over years and years and countless generations, out of necessity, had to develop all those skills in order to compensate, because the energy, the sexual energy, had to be channeled. That's it. It's as simple as that. But in order to make that human being evolve, quote unquote, he's not evolving, he's becoming sicker and sicker, but in a way he's evolving in that frame of mind. You had to create a constriction. And that's where the so-called religion comes in. It gives you a code. Don't do, shouldn't do, bad, good, don't do, evil, devil, punishment. And you reinforce this over generations, and the people just become, like you see now with the right? What are they doing? They are conditioning people in front of our eyes to believe certain realities, which is activating their sexual energy fear and guiding their actions, which is, action is controlled by generative power, in a specific direction. You see it in front of you. It all started with what? Somebody had a plan, implanted a fear, implanted a truth, a truism that you or most or majority of people has accepted due to the authority of science who said so, that this is an incontestable truth. That reality started to affect the whole system, create certain pathways, and now the sexual energy, which is activated by fear due to the lack, is now having to find a way to channel itself. Which is now guiding the sheep herd in a very clear, unmissable direction. So this is how this is how humanity has been enslaved over countless generations. Now, why it's like this is there's a bigger question. This is a macro. I don't want to get into this. We're just looking at it at a basic level. So that's how you do it. That's how you get that person to do what you want. You have to manipulate that person. You have to psychologically brainwash them, manipulate them, make them believe something totally false, which has an effect to create constrictions in the body, block the natural flow of circulation, and by default, if the energy can't flow properly, it'll find alternative pathways. But these alternative pathways come with compensations. In other words, when you cut the generative power, the human being is no longer connected to life or source. So therefore, it is living in fear. And from that point, it needs to solve its issue. And it's always the same. How do we rise above nature? How do we control nature? And how do we have access to more power, manipulating more people so that we can suck their labor while we do less and they do more?